The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And here we are, back in the SWBC podcast studio at Ford Center, the Star in Frisco. And Mickey Spagnola, how's it look outside?
The sun came up this morning.
The sun came up.
Man, the sun came up?
The sun came up.
Man, I thought it was done yesterday. I didn't think I'd ever see it again.
And it's a beautiful day here at the Star in Frisco, right, Mickey?
Except we're not playing the Cowboys Stampede
No.
fight
I know,
show.
man.
Nope.
I miss it.
Nope, that
Well,
should be.
we played it Friday. So
We played it Friday to
maybe
get
we
this
shouldn't
team
have played it.
fired up.
no
you
more
know,
Friday.
They
We
must
need to
not
play
have
it.
paid attention.
No more Friday.
You know
fight
what we
song.
need to do? We need to play the Cowboys Stampede on Sunday morning as they
Was it too early?
as they come out onto the field.
Wow, now that would be cool.
Uh-huh.
Throwback? Come on.
Dun.
Everybody else is, come on.
That's right.
Yeah, you don't forget your roots, dude. I
That's
love it.
right.
So, how did our picks and our picks to click work?
Hey,
We
my
all
pick
tanked.
to click worked great
Tony Pollard?
on the opening kickoff.
And it went downhill from there.
On the opening kickoff, I said, I'm going to
Here we
win
go.
this pick to
You
click.
had the send
That's
all ready
right.
to go
If
on the
if
group
the game
text, right?
If the game ended after the opening kickoff, I win the pick to click. Tony
Yeah.
Pollard.
So you didn't think much of his 4 carries for 11 yards?
Well, no.
Or one catch. Well, he had 1 catch for 32 yards.
There you go. Was it? I don't even remember. It was at,
I don't
at the
either.
end.
Yeah, it was.
I do recall.
And it was a drop pass right off the bat.
I do remember that.
I do recall everything that we said. If it's gonna go wrong, this is how it's gonna happen. Then Denver was listening because it happened.
Yep.
You know, like I said, quarterback, solid quarterback.
What was the key to Denver's victory?
the O-line, the trenches?
And they were playing with basically most of the entire game with 3 backup offensive linemen.
Well, their backup offensive linemen did a better job than the Cowboys.
And their defensive linemen, man, I don't know. These guys must
Well,
have been
look,
waiting to play. They must
you
have
know
been
what?
waiting to
We
play.
can go.
I tweeted at one point during the game, Tyron Smith is a pretty good player.
Yes, he is. There you go.
And
there you go.
Terrence Steele's probably not ready for the Ring of Honor just yet.
Just yet. And see, that's why I asked the question last week. Are we going to give them the same help like we've been covering for them?
Didn't give him enough.
Well, no, the help wasn't good. I don't even know what to tell you. I don't.
Well, you can pick this whole thing apart, but let me tell you this little story before the game. I use it for my lead to my column for today. I'm in the press box about an hour before the kickoff, and Babe Laufenberg comes walking by, and he looks at me and he goes, "Tell me this." He goes, "Why am I nervous about this game that I wasn't nervous all week? Like, you know, I wasn't nervous about this game. Now suddenly I am."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "I'll tell you why." I go, "I'll tell you my little NFL theory. The more you win, the closer you are to losing."
That's right.
And he looked at me and he goes, "I like that.
That's his thing.
I like that."
That's
The
his
percentages at some point
Well, you
are
also
going to
got
catch
a
up
field.
with
You got a field goal thing that you kind of say.
Yeah, and the more you kick, the closer you are to losing.
So basically, you're like a gloom and doom dude.
No, I'm very realistic.
That's your thing.
And I don't need analytics to have a number for this. You can just sense it that if you won 6 straight, at some point you're going to lose one.
You know what I have right here in my note? Number 2, defense in scoring. Remember that?
Yep.
Yeah.
We talked about that last week.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Number 2 scoring defense in the league, Vic Fangio's unit at Denver.
And he was pretty fired up.
He was, especially, you mentioned, or Everson did, about the kick and field goals. So let's go right to the second possession for the Cowboys, 4th and 2 at the 20-yard line. What do you do, Mickey? That was the play where Fangio was so fired up after the incompletion.
And I got some things I want to read to you about all that. I I was good going for it. I know you probably should take the field goal there, but you got the number 1 offense in the National Football League, the number 2 rushing offense, and the number 3 passing offense. And I'm not kicking a field goal that close. I got to go and
even
get a
after
touchdown. After the other one.
And first one, okay, take back to the first one. I had no problem at all going for it on 4th and 1 after that one, because, and even from a strategic standpoint, okay, it was like Pollard's kick return was your punt. If you didn't make it, you know, you took over.
You already have the field position.
Yeah. Now you can make the case, well, you can punt them down or whatever, but I had no problem at all on that one. The second one.
Here's what kind of got in my mind after they missed the second one. I started thinking, oh, guess what Denver's thinking? They disrespected us. They thought they were just going to come in here and roll
everything's going to work
us, right?
Everything's going to work.
That we're not good enough. So I didn't see this until this morning. So let me read you a couple of these things. Tim Patrick. I had no idea who Tim Patrick was until he catches a 44-yard touchdown pass.
Over Trayvon Diggs, the NFL Defensive Player of the
Year.
Player of the Year. The first.
So here's what he said about when he was asked
Glad my
about.
name didn't come up then.
Yeah, right?
Go ahead,
Everson Walls is still
just like
safe.
Everson Walls.
Anyway, here's what he said about the fact that they actually went for the 4th downs. Disrespectful. That S, disrespectful. They're trying us, and that's what happens when you try us. Teddy Bridgewater. You take the field with a little anger, honestly, said of the team going for it on the 4th down. It's like, hey, man, they're going for it because they're saying our offense is not going to score or something. We talked about it in the huddle. We used that as motivation. It was one of those deals where you take the field and, okay, you have a little added motivation to it. You can see that today. And then Fangio says, everybody wants to go for it on 4th down, right? 4th and 1, 4th and 2, they cite all the numbers, so on and so forth. But when you don't get them, it hurts, and we were the beneficiary of the hurt.
And he took advantage of that and that's why he was so fired up after they stopped him on the second 4th and 2. And so they played, and it's smart coaching. I mean, smart for the team to, and you know, and part of that too, even coming into the game, you know what they were hearing in Denver all week.
Oh,
I mean, they just traded away the face of the franchise, and those players, they're not waving a white flag.
And they can't beat a team with at least a 500 record. They excuse me, they lose to all the teams that are 500 or better, and they beat all the teams with losing records. And I'm sure they heard all of it. And when those 4th down plays, and then they stopped them on 3rd and 1 also, forced the punt that time. I'm sure that they were fired up, and it added motivation to this game.
I got to say, man, you know, as a former player, that kind of kills me. It really does. I just got a problem with this selective motivation.
Yeah.
You know
well, I understand.
What the hell were you for again? Those 4 losses. I mean, come on, man.
But in the game, the stuff before, I don't go for that.
You get telling those other 4 games that you lost.
You weren't motivated.
That you weren't motivated. We just gonna. It's like the what they call it, the frog or the crab in the water. You know, you just heat it up slowly. Okay, we just heat up. We disrespect you slowly, so then you're just going to lay down and let us kick your butt. But we turn up the fire a little bit and disrespect you outrightly, then all of a sudden you're fired up. So we're okay to lose as long as you don't disrespect us.
So
we're okay with losing.
But those things that got that team excited. Not only that, but half the crowd was Bronco fans. The Cowboy fans sold out. There was more orange in there. I thought it was Halloween all over again. It looked like a bunch of pumpkins.
Well, now that's not the first time that happens. I mean, Jerry's World is a vacation for.
No, it's the Cowboy fans selling out to make money on a game they weren't interested in.
Yeah, I was there and I was interested until I wasn't.
I mean,
and then it was like,
you
whoa,
know, it's bad
happening?
when they kick a field goal and you can't tell if it was good or not by the crowd reaction because both sides were cheering one way or the other, and that was That was shameful.
Okay. After the 4th and 2, what did Denver do?
They drove 80 yards for a touchdown.
80 yards in 11 plays, and 8 of those plays were running plays.
Yep.
That was the key to this victory, is Denver's ability to run the football.
They ran for 192 yards.
That's right.
I have here in my notes, Melvin Flash Gordon. And I didn't say this. I'm listening to what you guys said last week. Melvin Flash Gordon over 100, I think, or 400 yards on the season.
He was right under 3.
And then Bill
and
pointed out,
Javonte Williams, 400 yards. He has over 400 yards.
Yeah, just a little under Gordon. But it was both about the same.
Both of them, we talked about. These are the notes I took coming from you guys' mouths. Mm-hmm. So
Javonte Matt Truck Williams.
He is great, bro.
Man, I remember leading up to the draft. Leading up to the draft, I was looking at his North Carolina tape. I was going, "Wow, this guy is." And then Will McClay showed me on the telestrator 3 plays. If you watch the Mike McCarthy show, and is available on DallasCowboys.com, the athleticism, and it was on display on Sunday afternoon at AT&T Stadium too.
So.
They paid the players on the other team.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Stephen pointed that out this morning too, by the way. But again, they took advantage of what would be our normal worries, right? They took advantage of Terrence Steele at left tackle. We saw La'el Collins okay. And then as the game wore on, he looked like he wore down too. And everybody wanted to know, well, why didn't he play last week, right? Well, you got your answer, right? And then the other thing we've been worried about was and we thought they solved it in Minnesota, the way they played defensively, right?
One step too soon.
All of a sudden, as I said, just when you thought it was safe to come out in the dark, the boogeyman got you.
That's right.
They couldn't stop the run on the edges. The defensive ends got taken advantage of. You know, they sort of stayed away from Randy Gregory's side, but boy, they attacked whoever was playing defensive end on the other side.
Yeah.
We thought, Golston was coming along, Armstrong, all Oxnard, right? Basham. Those guys couldn't hold the edge against the run.
Not at all.
And they were making a concerted effort to go right there.
And you had your linebackers working their butts.
Yes. They were on their own because the offensive line was getting to them, right? And then the other thing that I'd been harping on all year, last week, it disappeared, but boy, did it come back. Giving up chunk plays, big plays. And as I counted here, they had 7 plays of 19 yards or more. And let me count them for you. Teddy Bridgewater, 44-yard touchdown pass to Tim Patrick.
Who?
Yeah. I'll give you another who. Teddy Bridgewater, over the middle, 40 yards. Kellen Hinton?
Kendall Hinton.
Kendall Hinton. See? Sorry. Kendall Hinton.
Thank you for being here, Bill.
Javonte Williams, 30-yard run.
Is that when they were trying to strip him?
That was the
where he dragged like Jim Brown.
That was right after
Before
the punt.
Before you move on, I just hate that thing. Okay, everybody talking about the Peanut Tillman punch or whatever. You got to have the guy under control before you start trying to take the ball.
And they're grabbing the ball, right?
You got to get it. You get him under control. I come and punch. You got to be coordinated.
Hey, if we're doing it that way, you're never getting a punch.
I might punch you, right?
Javonte Williams, run 20 yards. Pass to Jerry Jeudy, 20 yards. Oh, Tim Patrick, pass, 19 yards, 17 yards, 17 yards, 16 yards. That's what I had worried about up until Minnesota, because they limited them to 3 plays of 20 yards or more. And in this game, they didn't get any takeaways, right? And the defense just couldn't hold up.
If Bill has a chance, go back to the 81 season. We were going well, so well. We lost maybe a game or so. And my season was going well, interceptions and all of that, He gets some, they get some. That's Tom Landry's quote. We went up there and to Candlestick Park, 1981, mid-season. Ooh, they laid it on us so bad. It was this game. It was like I think they had 30-plus points on us before we could blink. First time we'd ever seen the West Coast offense.
That's right. There was week 6.
Week 6. First time we'd ever seen the West Coast offense. And that, thank God for the experience we had on the team and things of that nature. But, man, that ride home, that flight home, that was a tough flight home. And we were kind of out joking about it, but you could tell underneath that shook us.
Final score was 45-14.
That shook us bad.
In a season that they finished
12-4.
12-4.
Mm-hmm.
But we had experience, okay? We had a special team also. Of course, the veterans come along with us young guys.
Mm-hmm.
This is the moment where we always talked about it before this game and weeks before. How are you going to handle this type of situation? So there's always a unique hurdle to clear. This is one of those moments, and obviously the most crucial of this season. Where do you go from here? We could say, we can forget about it. I was going to come in joking about what game. That was going to be my joke today, because games like that, coaches don't even want to watch them anymore. So how are they going to handle this from here on? That's where coaching comes in on this one, and some leadership. You're going to have to see that.
You know what you did the next 4 games after that San Francisco game?
What's that?
You won. And then you lost 1, and then you won 4 more. So you won 8 of your next 9 games, and, of course, made it to the NFC Championship game.
So there you go. Mm-hmm. The more you win, you're going to lose one at some point.
Yeah.
You're not going to win them all.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you count for all the goofiness,
that
right?
That was crazy. All
the goofiness that took place. We'll get to the punt. That's probably a segment on its own. Teddy Bridgewater on the quarterback sneak for the touchdown.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere. What happened to forward progress, right? And then he reaches up, and the ball gets knocked out, and you still can't tell if he broke the plane.
It's amazing how all of a sudden they are so good at getting it right.
Yeah.
On the goal line.
How did they see even the overhead? You can't tell. But no stop forward progress. Mm-hmm. Just let him keep going nowhere, and then he leaps and the ball gets knocked out. But that was typical of what was going on that day. I know we got to go to break, and I'll lead you to break by saying even when you block a punt, it didn't turn out well.
Okay, sounds like Mickey wants to talk about the block punt when we come back here on Mick Shots.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with...
And I'm Jay Novacek, and we're both with...
United Ag and Turf, the official tractor provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
So, if you need a tractor to bale some hay, a mower to cut some grass, or a gator to get some chores done...
Get a John Deere at United Ag and Turf.
And then, let's get to work.
Hey, Jay, that's my line.
Well, not today.
Get to work with a John Deere tractor package that's just right for you and your budget. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit AT&T.com for details.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Back
Back to Mick Shots.
Give the gift of the Dallas Cowboys this season with a Dallas Cowboys United membership presented by Globe Life. It's the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate Cowboys fan. Members should start at just $20 and includes an exclusive fan pack and VIP member experiences. 'Tis the season. Visit DallasCowboys.com/United to get yours today.
Well, at least you didn't fall off, Mick. That's good.
'Tis the season.
All right. You listened to Stephen Jones on the Fan?
I did.
Anything of note?
He said that there's a possibility that they can get Tyron Smith ready to get back in the game this week.
It sounds like
that's a sense of urgency coming up.
That's a priority.
And he says, and you know, if he improves upon that early in the week, maybe he can get into practice. He also sounded like they can get Michael Gallup back this week. So he said, we missed Tyron yesterday and get Michael Gallup back this week. So, and they have to make the move this week because this is his third week of practicing, and then you got to make a decision.
On who?
Michael Gallup.
Gallup.
Yeah, because he's on injured reserve. So
you had said around Thanksgiving. Remember, I asked you about that last week. You said around Thanksgiving.
You really want Tyron Smith to play against Atlanta.
Yes. We don't need to go back to 2017?
Yes.
Adrian Claiborne.
The guy made all the money he needed to make after that game. Because he got a big contract.
Yeah, it was
4 or 5. They had 7, I think, 7 or 8.
I think they had
he didn't
8
get
overall.
Them all.
It seemed like
8 overall.
It seemed like I thought he had 16.
I thought he had more than 5.
I thought it was 5.
I thought he had more than 5.
And they weren't all on Chaz Green because the backup came in and he didn't do nothing
he looked
either.
Like a backup.
Yeah.
He wasn't the backup?
I said
the backup to the backup.
He didn't look like a backup. He did look like. Hey, so here's the thing. Before we move on into the punt, what the heck's going on with Dak, man? What the heck? Come on.
Was not a good.
Talk to me. Come on, Bill. You're a conspiracy theorist.
Just to on Adrian Claiborne, it was 6 sacks.
It was 6.
It was 6 sacks against the Cowboys. So
well, maybe it was 6, but it wasn't. They weren't all against Chaz Green.
That was it. Yeah. That was it. I'm sure.
I think he got 4 on Chaz Green, 1 on another guy, and then 1 was just he looped into the middle and they didn't pick it up. So how many did they finish in the game? Was it 8?
8.
Yep.
I remember that magic number.
No. Well, I'll have to look it up. It's a longer story.
That's okay. Never mind.
Now, go ahead.
I was asking about what the heck's going on with Dak and these throws.
Well,
I mean, I know that there was pressure a bit, but there were times when, you expect so much more.
Right.
And now, of course, you're going to wonder, okay, well, do you throw with your calf or do you use your hips more? And was that part of it?
See, he moved well enough to dispel what I was thinking early because he was high. And I'm thinking when you throw flat-footed, you're high, right? Because you're not pushing off your back foot. But the times he scrambled and moved around.
The one to CeeDee Lamb.
I just think.
That's touchdown.
But see, here's the deal. Some of those that, other than the fourth, was it the 4th and 2 one he missed? He came short.
Yeah.
And he kind of explained that he changed his arm slot because he thought he was going to hit the other guy. So
it was almost like a one-hopper.
But some of those that you thought he'd hit, like you don't make a living on throwing the ball on the run. And the reason he's throwing the ball on the run is the pocket continued to break down.
He looked like Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Yes. And so, he threw the ball on the run for the winning touchdown pass in overtime against New England, but you're not going to make a living off of throwing those passes. And he was off. He was long so many times. And just watching him in the pocket, I don't think he ever got comfortable. There were very few times he stood in the pocket, looked, and then stepped in and threw because he didn't have time for that.
Well,
and while he didn't get all those sacks in there,
he's the number one passer with pressure.
Well,
and that's
this pressure. I know, but this pressure just seemed to.
And it was four-man pressure. It wasn't blitzing pressure.
And they blitzed a little, but not that. You know what it was? They were playing that wide 9 deal, especially on passing downs where they widen out their defensive ends and then they crashed in, which number one kind of kept them in the pocket, and number two gave the tackles just an awful lot of trouble. But I just say his feet were never quiet in the pocket. They kept moving, pipper, papper, like that.
How'd they go again?
Yeah, that was,
you only get that once. You only get that once. But that's what happened.
You remember, I don't remember which year it was. It was a game against Philadelphia midseason. Dak had an off night. It's his second or third year. It's either 2017, 2018, I can't remember. And his footwork was off. And he came back the next week and was right on target with everything. And I think, and I know nothing about it, okay, but it's just a theory that I have when you look back at his
Bill is conspiracy theorist. I wrote that right here. Go ahead. Right
when
here.
When you look back at the last 3 weeks, well, what's he been doing the last 3 weeks after the calf injury?
Right.
Okay. You got the bye week, and he's rehabbing that. Okay. He's not working on his footwork that week. The next week, it's kind of the same deal. He's doing a lot of stuff, but he's not working on footwork and passing the football. So there's basically 2 weeks. Now he's back this week. And I think with him and with most every quarterback there is that it gets underestimated how much footwork matters in their accuracy and so forth. And I think what you're going to see is he's going to put his nose to the grindstone like he always does this week.
Yeah.
And
like any professional.
And he is going to be right back where we have seen him the first half of this season, where his accuracy is right on and stuff. But playing a factor in that is the fact that he wasn't sure, the pocket is collapsing on him. And so. And
then, to make matters worse, at one point in the game, I think I wrote this down, they had as many they had as many drop passes as they had first downs. 5. 5 of each.
That's crazy, man.
How do you, Amari Cooper, right through the breadbasket, right? How does that happen?
I was waiting to hear Bill's whole thing.
Schultz, Lamb.
The whole weekend was crazy, Bill. That's why I wrote, Bill is a conspiracy theorist. I know you got something, man.
Okay, so
what the heck all weekend?
Well,
college, pros,
and
it's in the stars, right? Come on, man. I know you got something.
Let me support, in this league, every week strange stuff happens, right?
Crazy.
So the Cowboys basically 30-0 right before they get 2 gifts touchdowns. Atlanta goes to New Orleans and wins. Jacksonville beats Buffalo and holds them to 6 points. Josh Allen is supposed to be the player of the year.
Where was this played? The game
that was at Jacksonville.
But
what kind of home field advantage do they have?
Exactly.
Cleveland goes to Cincinnati with all their turmoil and beats the Bengals, holds them to 16 points.
They were in first place in the division.
The Giants beat Las Vegas. They had won 2 in a row. Rich Bisaccia is not undefeated anymore. Baltimore has to go into overtime to beat Minnesota.
The team that we stomped.
Right.
With a backup quarterback.
Kansas City takes out Green Bay. Now, I can understand Rodgers.
That was an ugly game all the way around.
But they beat them 13-7.
The Chiefs looked so bad.
They only scored 13 points.
I agree. That's
and then
bad.
Last night, Tennessee goes into L.A. and beats the Rams.
That, to me, was just as alarming as the Cowboys and Buffalo game.
Look at all. How do you make sense of and the Chargers, by the way, had to go right down to the wire to beat Philadelphia.
We got to be careful with Philly guys.
Right?
Trust me. They're going to give us a problem. I'm sorry.
Weird stuff happens in this league. When you think.
4 teams were favored by 7 points or more, lost.
Got beat. Just when you think you got this thing figured out, it comes back and says, not so fast.
All right. I've got a flashback for you.
Uh-oh.
This reminds me of Barry Switzer at a press conference in 1994 or whatever. He was, you know how Barry at his press conferences, he'd lose his train of thought,
right.
And then he'd say, I just had a flashback. And he said, a fireman's fun flashback. Do you remember that at all? You remember the fireman's fun flashback?
That, yes.
All right, I've got for you right here. It is, if you can see it here, a fireman's fun flashback. We take you back to week 9 of last season. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers play the New Orleans Saints. The 6-win Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Saints. And what was the final score?
Oh, they smoked them.
38-0. The Saints beat the Buccaneers.
Yes, they did.
What happened to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the rest
Super
of the
Bowl,
season?
baby.
Did they not
They
win?
eventually got on a roll and won the Super Bowl. Now let me take you back 51 years ago to 1970. Everson, you remember this at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. Monday Night Football. It was week 9 of the season, just like this was week 9 of the season. And the Cowboys were playing the St. Louis Cardinals. And the final score of that game, 38-0. The Cowboys lost. In the fourth quarter of that game, Cowboys fans of the Cotton Bowl were chanting, "We want Dandy. We want Dandy." Dandy Don Meredith was in the ABC Monday Night Football booth at his first Cowboy game that he ever did as a Monday Night Football announcer. What happened to the Cowboys the rest of that season? They went on a roll and went all the way to the Super Bowl.
They had that on the internet
not
about
for
4 weeks ago.
a ridiculous call by Jack Fetty in that Super Bowl against Baltimore, the Cowboys would have won their first world championship.
And that would be the what, double tip?
That, and on the goal line, Dave Manders recovered a fumble on the goal line.
Well,
and
they also
is your fireman's fun flashback.
And do you remember when they asked Dandy Don in the booth, so they want you back? Do you want to go down there? And he goes, hell no, not the way that game's going.
So
you
got your conspiracy theory. It's a week 9 deal
That's
in NFL history. Okay,
Crazy.
And I was thinking of that when it was 30-0. In fact, I was halfway rooting for Denver to score another touchdown to make it 37-0, and then it would be really like 1970 all over again.
Crazy. Yep, absolutely.
So, all right, there you have it. You like that?
I love. It's going to be part of.
So is it going to
the tease?
So is this? So it was a good thing it happened yesterday. This team's going to get on a roll now.
I'm glad it happened before, I'd say, week 13. You know what I mean? 15, something like that.
And having said all that, when I look at the standings here, so 2 teams, 7-1 in the NFC: Green Bay, Arizona. And 6-2 Cowboys, 6-2 Tampa Bay, 5-2 New Orleans, and 7-2 Rams. And in the AFC, only one team is 7-2, and that's Tennessee.
Yeah,
they looked pretty good last night.
They did,
and they did,
defensively,
especially on the road
without Derrick Henry.
Right. So,
and then now, that's funny how you look at our schedule now as it comes up. All of a sudden, it's like some urgency, because we always talked about it on this show. No one's going to keep on losing. No one's going to keep on winning. That's just the way it is. So now, all of a sudden, Falcons look good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That game doesn't look so easy now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now we're looking at, Saints looking good.
Maybe they'll come in overconfident.
Whoever quarterbacks for the Saints, we have to go there and win. So now, all of a sudden, we see our weaknesses.
In between that, it's at Kansas City, Thanksgiving against the Raiders.
Come on. Yeah. Now, all of a sudden, they're looking, Cowboys in trouble. Well, at first you were saying, look how easy their schedule is. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, it's now, look at these next 4 games. Well, initially, you were saying these were easy games. So
that's why
I love the ebb and flow.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
That's right, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Just play it.
All right. We're going to examine the punt in the third quarter
Never did get to
when we come back here on Mick Shots.
Down.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with...
And I'm Jay Novacek, and we're both with...
United Ag and Turf, the official tractor provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
So, if you need a tractor to bale some hay, a mower to cut some grass, or a gator to get some chores done...
Get a John Deere at United Ag and Turf.
And then, let's get to work.
Hey, Jay, that's my line.
Well, not today.
Get to work with a John Deere tractor package that's just right for you and your budget. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com.
Back to Mick Shots.
Registration for holiday youth camps is now open. Don't miss the Dallas Cowboys Football Academy and the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders Dance Academy camps on December 21st at the Star in Frisco and December 22nd at AT&T Stadium. Space is limited, so register today at dallascowboys.com/academy.
Okay, Mickey, do you have a schedule for today? What's happening today?
Mike McCarthy has a press conference at 3 p.m.
3 p.m., less than an hour away.
The coordinators to follow, usually around 4:30, something like that. And the players come in and get their run-in, and they have their meetings. I don't know if they're going to watch tape or...
They're going to burn it?
Burn it.
What do you do, guys?
I'm watching it. Because I still don't think this team has accomplished anything to be sitting there strutting along and go, okay,
see,
that's not us.
You and Tom probably got along very well. Because when this happened with us, there were times when Tom would just say, forget it. But most of the time, either they're gonna throw it away, or it's gonna be the longest film day that you've had, because offense, defense, and special teams will be in the same room, so everybody will get the gist of the criticism.
You know, Fangio's comment about the Cowboys' offense, it was pretty complimentary. Like, they are really good. And he goes, and the other teams didn't figure out how to stop them. He didn't say we did. He goes, and how do you stop all that talent? He goes, and I guarantee you they'll continue scoring 35 points a game, and they won't have another game like this.
They will not. They will not.
But
That's
he said
true.
we rose to the occasion, to the point where I guess he started his press conference off was, well, how about those Broncos? He goes, isn't that what Jimmy Johnson used to say?
Oh, wow.
Let's see how long he stays up like that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be looking at him
with his job on
exactly.
the line.
Where's your motivation?
Well, I think he wouldn't have any problem if he's okay being a defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
He's been one for 35 years in this league.
Yeah,
or in, one stint in college at Stanford. All right,
punt.
Before the punt. Did Steven say anything about Zeke and his knee?
He said that he didn't feel like they came out of the game with him, or maybe they didn't even ask him about Zeke with any injury concerns. So it was a bruise. I think they were putting a heating pad on it or something. So I think you can deal with a bruise better than you deal with a sprain.
Right.
And the way he was running towards the end, I mean, I'm sure he's sore today, but it didn't seem like it limited him any, although it was concerning early in the game.
And by the way, Cowboys fans are hoping the Broncos keep this roll going for them. They beat Washington last week, Dallas this week, and they've got Philadelphia coming up this week. So go ahead, Broncos, and knock yourself out.
Do your thing,
keep doing your thing.
Because Philly and the Giants are now just 3 games back instead of 3.5.
I can feel their breath on my neck.
All right, now the blocked punt. Boy, that was going to be a great momentum changer in this game.
It was just typical of the day, right? What could go wrong? Even when you did something right, ends up going wrong. They're blocked the punt. They're going to get the ball back inside the 20-yard line. You score there. I think it was 16-0.
Who blocked
at that point. Malik Turner, the wide receiver, who ended up counting the 2 touchdowns, comes right through the middle, blocks it, and doesn't get it all, but it flutters up and goes over the line of scrimmage, and Nashawn Wright's standing there, and he sees the ball coming by, and he goes to grab it.
Grab the butterfly. And
it was a weird spin on it because of the block,
right?
So
it wasn't like you could just catch it and deflects it.
It was actually coming like almost upward.
And the deflection made it a live ball.
So it was not considered a block punt.
It was considered a muff. How about that?
That's right.
It's a blocked punt, but once it goes past the line of scrimmage, it becomes like a punt. And so that is a muffed punt.
That's why Malik Turner
he doesn't even get credit.
The first person in history to catch 2 touchdowns?
2 touchdowns and block a punt
in one game. That would have been the first time.
And how about this? Because of that, so the punt ends up going technically 3 yards. That poor punter's punting average was 31 yards a punt.
He'll take it. He'll take the win, I'm sure.
So the weird thing on that is, so you block it, you recover it, and you get a first down, like the possession changed, right? So my thought is, what happens if you block it, the ball goes up, and it comes down on some poor SOB's head? It's a muff.
It's a muff.
You're not going to call Mayday, and all of a sudden the guys on the line of scrimmage are going to start scrambling, right? So that's the only thing that
the Cowboys fans were worried about the rule, but it is what it is.
No, it is.
And you can't all of a sudden they're saying, well, we need to change that rule. No, you don't need to change the rule.
Well, somebody suggested that to McCarthy afterwards, and he goes, ain't going to do us any good today.
Who cares? It's going to happen again. I mean, you'd be lucky if it does.
Well, you do have the option of stopping them after they recover the punt.
That's true.
You
do. Which is what we were accustomed to doing.
And then they drove for a field goal, right?
Made it 19-0.
Yeah. And even at 19,
and that was the 30-yard run was right after that.
Right.
Yeah, the Javante.
I'm still feeling good. I'm still feeling good at 19-0.
Yes, I was too. I was thinking, okay, they're going to, but the key thing is you were down 16-0. You did squat in the first half. You got them 3 and out. You're going to get the ball. You blocked it. Chances are you're going to get the ball around the 20-yard line. And if you score, go for 2, it's 16-8, ball game on, right?
Imagine if you had kicked the field goal early in the game and then you would have scored the touchdown and you kicked the extra point at 16-10.
Right. It was the mojo moment that didn't mojo.
Man. Nope. They got mowed.
And that could have been a huge momentum change in the game right there, right? They're feeling down. They got a punt blocked. You're feeling great. It's like the 54-yard kickoff return, right? This is how we're starting the second half. And
it was it's funny you mentioned that about Babe. I was at the game, and it was an odd feeling. It just really was. I don't know. I just did not feel comfortable. We talked last week about fan hesitancy, right?
You're like, okay, don't worry about it.
This is why. And I talked last week about it's time for us to believe in the Cowboys. You know what I mean? So now I'm right back where I was before the game.
Because when you look at it, they needed a final minute touchdown to beat Minnesota. They needed overtime to beat New England, right? And they needed a walk-off field goal to beat San Diego. I mean, San Diego, the Chargers.
Not
San
LA
Diego.
Chargers.
Right.
LA Chargers.
And so it wasn't like they were just romping over. The only people they romped over were the NFC East teams, right?
And I wasn't worried about them romping over anyone. I liked we talked about the mojo moment.
Right.
Because we won those games in such dramatic fashions, because that is our creed right now. We answer the bell no matter what's going on before that. Now it's time to make a play. Yesterday, just didn't exist.
They couldn't get the game into the final minute.
Sure, kidding. Oh,
but boy, they came on. Marched right down and got 2 consecutive touchdowns.
So how many times in the game did the Cowboys defense get off the field without Denver scoring?
I'm thinking
first possession that Denver had. There was a 3 and out.
The punt.
And then it was Denver's next possession was a touchdown. Denver's next possession was a touchdown. And then Denver's next possession was a field goal. And then came the final possession of the half where they were milking the clock.
Yeah.
And then they got to the midfield, and then Parsons and Lewis got the sack to end the half, whatever. Okay, so there were how many scoring drives?
Well, here,
there was 3 scoring drives
it was the
there.
muff punt,
and so then you got
scoring drive.
and then the first possession of the third quarter, you got out with the block punt. And then that happened. Well, then they proceed to go for a field goal on that possession, a field goal on the next possession, and then a touchdown on the next possession, and a field goal on the next possession, and there's your 30 points.
So they had 12 possessions, and they scored on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One was an end of game. One was a missed field goal. And one was end of half.
The muff punt, is that considered a continuous drive?
I don't know.
Because you said it ended in a field goal.
I don't. Well, let me see.
So is that they went to fourth down?
They counted it as
is the muff considered a successful fourth down try?
No. So technically it finished as a punt, and then the next possession started 2 yards behind where the other drive began and ended in a field goal. So it's like a change of possessions, like you turned the ball over.
So,
but technically, you didn't have the ball yourself, and so
that's why the question was.
So it was like last year all over.
Well, they had the ball for almost 7 minutes.
They had the ball for over 41 minutes in the game. What's the record?
It's got to be
record for time of possession.
We should
versus points. Is that what you mean?
Oh, just
fewest
points and time versus
fewest time of possession, right? Fewest minutes time of possession.
Fewest points time.
I don't know
if
it's in the media guide or not.
Well, here.
There you go.
Keep talking.
So as you look for that, what about the Josh Allen weirdness? Huh? Did you see that?
Josh Allen sacking Josh Allen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not just sack. It was interception and fumble recovery. Come on, man. It was a weird day. It was a weird day. I just knew you were going to come in with like some type of Star Trek.
Well, I did. I gave you a fireman's fun flashback of it's not that big a deal.
I thought it was going to
Week 9 happens.
Horoscopic.
Week 9 happens in this league.
Week 9. That's what it is.
That's right.
We're going to have to put a pin.
That's right. Mickey's not going to be able to find this.
I don't think they have a time of possession.
All right, we'll have that. That's your homework assignment for tomorrow.
On your own show.
That's right. Okay, and so we are past time here.
Nothing.
And again, Mike McCarthy's press conference coming your way in about 45 minutes from now at 3 o'clock, and we will talk at you again tomorrow here on Mick Shots. Go?
No, not today.
No, ain't happening.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.